Hello, everyone. This is Ria Ray Frischer, and today is the 29th of March, 2019. And I just wanted to share a really cool update. Yesterday morning, I accomplished something that I wanted to do 15 years ago. So I live in Boulder, Colorado, and here we have a community radio station called KGNU. They are not government affiliated. They do not take corporate money, so they are non-commercial, and they are listener supported. So for the last year, a little over a year, I've been working over there at the front desk, which has given me a really good inside look at how things are run and the people there, and it's just been really cool. So a couple of months ago, once again, like 15 years ago, I took the radio training course, and I practiced a few times during my free time at the station. And then once I made my demo, which I didn't do 15 years ago, I got intimidated and never did my demo, so I never got on the air. Well, once I made my demo and submitted it, and my trainer listened to it, he said, "When can you come in for the finishing touches class?" And which happened the very next day. So yesterday morning, for the first time ever, I was on the air live at 3 o'clock in the morning. I did the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. shift, which they call Restless Mornings, and it's quote unquote the proving ground for new talent. So right away, when I was trying to get in the door, because they have a keypad where you punch in your code and the door lets you in, I was missing a number from the number I was given. So I'm standing out there wondering, oh my God, how am I going to get in? And luckily I had my phone with me, which I don't use a smartphone, but I have a smartphone that I use just for music. So I had it with me. Luckily, I already had the Wi-Fi password for KGNU in there. So I turned it on, got to my email. Anyway, long story short, I found the code, got myself in, but I only had 20 minutes to prepare, and I was hoping for more than that. So I get in there, and I'm sweating bullets. And I get on the air, and I get in front of the mic, and I'm just like, my mind goes blank. I have no idea what to say. And once I started my first musical tune, the phone rings, and it's the DJ that's on before me, and he was in Denver. And he says, "Don't worry, you're going to be great. You're going to do just fine. Just have fun." So I thanked him for the support, and I tried my best to have fun, but it was just one of the most stressful times, I think. It's a slightly different soundboard than the studio I had practiced in. There's a couple of extra buttons that I'd never used before. I had to familiarize myself where the board button was for my microphone, as well as the ones I was going to use for the CD players. Anyway, I got through it. And about a half an hour in, the DJ called back and said, "You sound great." And I thanked him. I was like, "Thanks so much, but I got to queue up another CD, so I'm going to let you go." Anyway, so this was a huge accomplishment for me. It took stepping through some fear to do it. And that, I think, is what I want to call attention to. I remember probably within the first hour of me being there, I had to fill 2.5 hours. I had this random thought go through my mind that I noticed. And this thought, this was part of me saying, if I have a meltdown or I just get too overwhelmed, I'm ditching. And I was shocked that I had this thought because I hadn't had it until I was in there. Well, luckily that didn't happen because I knew that if I ditched, that would be the end. I would never, ever get back in the studio because they wouldn't allow me to do that. See, there's a button in there. It's not a fail-safe for if you have a panic attack. It's actually if there's no DJ to fill the slot, all they have to do is press a button, and there's a live stream of music that will play that whole 2.5 hours until the news person comes in at 5:30. And luckily for me, the news person was on time. They were 15 minutes early, so I didn't have to do the transition to the morning news on my own. I had someone to do it for me. And luckily I had chosen a tune that brought it right up to 5:30. The last thing I played was a live version of David Bowie's Let's Dance. So if any of you are interested to hear what I did on the radio, you can go to kgnu.org, and on the left-hand side, there is, I think it's called Listen Online. But anyway, something obvious. But once you click on it, you see where you can find the archive shows, and or you can just find After FM. And then look for the date. The date was 3/28/19. That also happened to be my son's 17th birthday, and that's why I chose to go on that morning. And I never did have a shout out to him to wish him happy birthday. But anyway, so you can find it there, and it'll bring up a page for After FM with, I think it's got my name on it, yeah. So it's only 2 hours. Don't have to listen to the whole thing. I did some PSAs. I did what I had to do, but that was it. There was so much I would have loved to have talked about that I didn't, because I just wanted to get through it and get it done and get the heck out of there. I was never so happy to leave the station after that. And the whole day, I was just in this weird, wasn't really a funk. I came home. I went to bed early that night. I did not get any sleep. I may have slept a little bit, but very lightly. And I was up at 2 in the morning to make sure that I was there by 3. I wanted a whole half hour to prepare. And I think the hardest thing really is keeping up with all the music I was playing. I have to enter a playlist. So there's a playlist there. You can see what I played. And mostly it's in order, but there's a couple of things that are out of order. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Anyway, so that's the way you could listen. So stepping through fear. I'm doing this video to encourage all of you. This is the time to bring those dreams to fruition. The energy's really high right now. I have had so many psychic hits today. Like I knew when stuff was going to happen right before it happened. Like I wanted to have lunch with a girlfriend today that I wanted to have lunch with like a year ago, and we just never did. And I said, what about today? And she said, no, I can't today, blah, 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 blah. Well, I walked over to our local Whole Foods, which I tend not to support too much, but I do like the food bar. And sure enough, I knew I was going to see her there, and I did. We met in line, and she was going to eat too. So we did end up having lunch together for like 15 minutes. And there was a few other things too. But to get back to the energy, we have so much energetic support right now for stepping through our fears and doing what we want to do, as far as what our dreams are, and other things too. So I realized when I was doing just a little, listening to my inner dialogue, I realized that the part of me that was so terrified to get into the studio was the part of me that has been afraid of a success. And oh, I know where I was. It's bringing me back to, so the whole day I was in this weird space with myself where this part of me was like, oh my God, I just can't do that again. I don't want to do that again. And it kind of felt like, it's like back in the day when I was in my early teens, my mom learned how to fly an airplane. And all she wanted to do was just go solo. And that was it. And she did it. She went solo, and she never ever got back in the cockpit again. And I thought, maybe it's going to be like that for me. Maybe this is all I needed to do. And it took me all day to get to just be in that space. And when I woke up this morning, I realized, okay, I can do it again. And so I'm still going to give myself a few days. I'm really in no rush to get back in there. Part of that is I love music, but music is not my forte. I really don't know music like some of the other DJs. And it will be fun to get to know the music library at KGNU. It's very vast, and they have a big room of vinyl, which I'm not interested in playing. That's just a whole nother area. Most of it, is CDs and stuff. So, and then, there's just so much music I haven't heard. But I played music, I played a lot of my favorites. And when I was in there, I was just grabbing stuff off the shelf, playing track one. Like, I'd listen to the few seconds. If it sounded good, I was like, okay, that's it. I didn't really waste any time trying to find stuff that I liked. And I actually picked out some pretty good stuff. Some of the hip hop that was in there was kind of weird, but anyway, so eventually I will contact my trainer again and say, okay, I'm ready for another shift, but I can do it anytime I want. But I know the longer I wait, the more likely it is that I won't do it. So I'm kind of on that line where I can't wait too long, but I need to wait just long enough for me to just feel comfortable again with going in there again, because it'll be another 3 a.m. shift, which disrupts my whole day. And I could do it this week because it's spring break, and I had, not a lot to do this week. My job is, I'm a dog walker and pet sitter, so I have no pet sitting, but I didn't have any doggies to walk, or very few anyway. So next week, in April, like, I'm walking dogs every single day except on the weekends. So it'll be a little more difficult for me during the day, but I'll get through it. So I think part of waiting is just so that I can get over the sleep that I've lost, and feel comfortable again, about getting back in there and doing it again, and feeling the pressure of having to do my playlist. And luckily I can do it way ahead of time, but that means I'd have to go in the studio and hang out in there and grab CDs and stuff, and that might be a little tough. Could do it when the studio's empty, but anyway, not that you need to know any of that. So I'm just here to encourage all of you to be your best version every moment of every day as best you can. Step through that fear, because it will just open doors for you. And I'm waiting to see what doors open for me. I really want my own show about spirituality. That's what I'd really love. And they're very reluctant to do that because a lot of people don't stick with it. You get a show and then people end up leaving. So they're reluctant to give people their own show. Anyway, I think this video is long enough. I just want to empower you to get out there and do your best. Thanks for listening. Namaste. I love you.